you ever met someone that you knew that had that kind of, I don't know, that kind soul that you just knew was a kind person?
I look at it in the mirror every day.
Yeah.
I've been fortunate enough in my life, my long life, to have met several of those people who have that kind soul, and tonight I want to tell you about one of them. First thing you should know about him is that anything that happens to him in his whole life, somehow it relates back to a Seinfeld episode. If you've not seen Seinfeld, you need to check that out. Alright, he was born the youngest son, and he grew up in a loving home with a mother, a father, and 2 older sisters. And I'm confident that in that loving home is what instilled in him his love for God and family and his friends, and how important it is to him to do service work and show service to others. You won't be surprised to find that you all know who I'm talking about, and usually he's sitting right here among us. Usually he eats with us and prays with us. Talking about Brian Blanton, or Dr. B, sometimes we call him. I've always thought Brian to be a very intelligent man. One time, Brian, Michelle, and I were in his car. I don't know if we were coming probably back from a race or to a race, and Brian took a phone call, and this conversation went on, and Michelle and I were staring at each other, and we started making faces, and then we busted out laughing because we had no idea what they were talking about. Just way over our head, we didn't know what to do. Truth be known, I've always been envious of his wit and his intelligence.
What does that mean?
It means that he's so smart and intelligent, and I envy that, and I wish that I had that.
Sort of like you're jealous.
In a good way.
In a good way.
Like you envy.
Yeah, everything comes easy to him.
The Bible says you're not supposed to do that.
True. Michelle shared with me that his college years were pivotal ones. That's when he really found out that he was very smart and intelligent and had a gift for learning. Only thing is he didn't learn that until his college years, so I don't know. I knew how smart he was the first time I met him. But since that time, he's been a lifelong learner, and he has a love for sharing all his knowledge, his gifts, his talents, his musical talents. I know he's helped several of you learn to play the ukulele. He's prayed with ukulele right there, maybe? Has he helped you? Ukulele? Ukulele. He's earned 4 degrees and several other endorsements. He also, another thing I envy about him is that he tries very hard to instill Christian values in his boys, Micah and Caleb. And he tries to teach them that it's important to be kind to others. He's a wonderful and loving husband to Michelle, and if any of you have been around them on a trip, it's just obvious, his love and admiration for her. Each year a group of us go do the peach tree, and we always try to beat our time from the previous year, and when we get there it's the same routine every time. We say, oh, we're not going to try to beat our time, we're just going to try to finish the race. We're lying. We're trying to beat each other, we're trying to beat our time. Well, year before last, Brian got this great idea. It wasn't a really great idea. He wanted us all sign up for a half marathon. So we did, and we practiced, and we we trained, and Michelle was with us, and Brian promised her that if she would run the race with him, that he would stay with her. And I know that doesn't sound like a lot, but when you've trained, and you know we really compete with each other every time we go out there, and that was all of our half marathon, and he stayed by her side the whole time. And we crossed the finish line, and he stayed by his wife. And that's a loving husband, because Mr. Tim wouldn't have done that. Well, he wouldn't have done a marathon. He might have pulled up to the mailbox. I admire also Brian's dedication to the church and all of you guys. He pours in his time, his energy, his passion for mission work of all kinds, whether it's in Guatemala or whether it's here at a soup kitchen or wherever here. There have been times when we've been out and he just talks to strangers. He walks up to a stranger, carries on a conversation, and shares his faith with him. When I talk about the many, many reasons why I admire Brian, there's one in particular that stands out. It's hot. Stands out in my mind. And it was when we unexpectedly got Ava. Mine and Tim's world just got turned upside down. She was a very, very sick little girl with a lot of health issues. We had, a couple of years before that, got Gavin, and we're in our 50s, so it wasn't easy. Brian would come over and he'd play video games with Gavin and give Gavin some one-on-one and some just attention and time that he needed because Ava was taking up all of our time. Then Brian and Michelle would come over and sit so Tim and I could go have a few minutes alone. And if you guys know, everyone's scared of Ava. So you know Ava, you know what I'm talking about. That was a big deal because nobody would come, nobody would sit with Ava. It's all those thoughtful and loving gestures that make Dr. B an admirable man and a man above reproach. Thank you for all your time. I hate that he wasn't here to see, but